Rama Rama Hare Hare Jaya Prabhupada Jaya Prabhupada Jaya Prabhupada Jaya Prabhupada 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 Jaya Jaya Prabhupada Devam Vishnu Pada Paramam Sabari Vrajavacharya Sutara Sushima His Divine Grace Sri Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada Ki Grantara Srimad Bhagavatam Ki Jai Nitai Gaura Pramanandi All glories to the assembled devotees Hare Krishna All glories to the assembled devotees Hare Krishna All glories to the assembled devotees all glories to Shri Guru and Gauranga All glories to Srila Prabhupada Namo Vishnu Krishna 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 Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya 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 Narayanam Namaskritya Naram Chaiva Narottamam Devim Saraswatim Vyasam Tato Jayamudiraye Nasa Prashu Abhadreshu Nityam Bhagavata Sevaya Bhagavate Uttama Shloke Bhaktir Bhakti Naistiki Hare Krishna. So we are continuing reading from Canto 9, Liberation. We are on chapter 17 now. This will be a short one. Text 1 to 3. Shri Badarayani Uvacha Ya Pururavasa Putra Ayustasya Bhavan Sutaha Nahusha Shatra Vridascha Rajirabhascha Viryavan Anena iti Rajendra Shrinu Shatra Vrido Anyava Shatra Vridda Sutasya San Suhotrasyat Majastrayaha Kasya Kusho Gritsamada Iti Gritsamadat Abud Shonaka Shonako Yasya Bhavricha Pravaro Munihi. Translation. Sukadeva Goswami said, from Pururava came a son named Ayu, whose very powerful sons were Nahusha and Shatravridha, Raji, Prabha, and Anena. O Maharaj Parikshit, now hear about the dynasty of Shatravridha. Shatravridha's son was Suhotra, who had three sons named Kashya, Kusha, and Gritsamada. From Gritsamada came Shunaka, and from him came Shaunaka, the great saint, the best of those conversant with the Rig Veda. Text 4. Yeah, same person. Text 4. Kashyasya kashistatputro Rastro dirgatama pita Danvantari dirgatamasa Ayurveda pravartakaha Yashnabhu Vasudevam Saha Smrita Matrarti Nashanaha. The son of Kashya was Kasi and his son was Rastra. The father of Dirgatama. Dirgatama had a son named Danvantari, who was the inaugurator of the medical science and an incarnation of Lord Vasudeva, the enjoyer of the results of sacrifices. One who remembers the name of Danvantari can be released from all disease. Next 5. Tatputra Ketuman Asya Yashne Bhima Ratastata Divodasho Dyumam Stasma Pratardana iti smritaha. The son of Dhanvantari was Ketuman and his son was Bhimarata. The son of Bhimarata was Divodasha and the son of Divodasha was Dyuman, also known as Pratardana. Next 6. Sa eva Satrujit Vatsa Ritadvaja iti ritaha Tasa Kuvalaya Sveti Prokto Larkadayastata. Dyuman was also known as Shatrujit, Vatsa, Ritadvaja, and Kuvala Yashva. From him were born Alarka and other sons. Text 7. Shashtim Varsha Sahasrani Shashtim Varsha Shatani Cha Nalarkar Aporo Rajan Bubuje Medinim Yuva. Alarka, the son of Dyuman, reigned over the earth for 66,000 years, my dear King Parikshit. No one other than him has reigned over the earth for so long as a young man. Obviously, he has a very long life. Text 8. Alarkat santatis tasmat sunitota niketanaha dharmaketu sutas tasmat katyaketu rajayata. From Alarka came a son named Santati and his son was Sunita. The son of Sunita was Nikitena, the son of Nikitana was Dharmaketu, and the son of Dharmaketu was Satyaketu. Okay. Text 9. Drishtaketu satastasmad Sukumara Shitishvaraha Viti Hotrosh Asya Bhargoto Bhargabhumi Rabhum Nirpa. O King Parikshit, from Satyaketu came a son named Drishtaketu, and from Drishtaketu came Sukumara, the emperor of the entire world. From Sukumara came a son named Vitihotra, from Vitihotra, Bharga, and from Bharga, Bhargabhumi. Text 10. Iti me kashayo bhupaha Shatra Vriddhan Vayayinaha Rabasya Rabasha Putro Gambira Chakriyastataha. O Maharaj Parikshit, all of these kings were descendants of Kashi, and they could also be called descendants of Shatra Vriddha. The son of Rabha was a Rabasa, and from Rabasa came Gambira, and from Gambira came a son named Akriya. So all these are kings in the dynasty of Kashi, and but also they included Shatra Vriddha's line also. Text 11. Tad gotram brahma vajjashne
Tadagotram Brahmavijjasne
Srinuvamsham anena saha
Shunuvamsam Anena
Shuddhastata suchistasmat
Shuddhastam Suchistasma
Chitrakrit dharmasaradihi.
Dharmasarthi.
The son of Akriya was known as Brahmavit, O king. Now hear about the descendants of Anena. From Anena came a son named Shuddha, and his son was Suchi. The son of Suchi was Dharmasaradi, also called Chitrakrit. Next 12. Tatha Santarajo Jashne
Tathasantara Jojashne
Vitakritya sa Atmavan
Vitakrityasaatma
Raje Pancha Shatani Asan
Raje Panchasatanyasam
Putranam Amito Jasam.
Putranam Mitojasa.
From Chitrakrit was born a son named Shantaraja, a self-realized soul who performed all kinds of Vedic ritualistic ceremonies and therefore did not beget any progeny. The sons of Raji were 500, all very powerful. Say something.
Huh? Said 500, 10,000 like this.
Yeah,
Amazing.
because you are looking at a different age, they have a longer life and so on. Right?
And they are Prajapati.
And some of them are Prajapatis, not all of them. But mostly Kshatriyas are allowed to marry many wives, generally. So therefore they have many children also. They are in the mode of passion anyways. Text 13. Devar abhyatito daityan
Devel Abhyartito Daitya
Atvendraya dadat divam
Atvindraya Tadakdivam
Indrastasmai punar datva
Indrastasmai Punatattva
Grihitva charana raje
Gritva Charano Raje
Atmanam arpayamasa
Atmanam Arpayamasa
Radadi Arishankitaha.
Praram
On the request of the demigods, Raji killed the demons and thus returned the kingdom of heaven to Lord Indra. But Indra, fearing such demons as Prahlada, returned the kingdom of heaven to Raji and surrendered himself at Raji's lotus feet. Actually, Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur says this Prahlad, Indra is not afraid of this Prahlad. Except for Prahlad, he is afraid of others. Yeah, that's what it means. Yeah. So not to think that he was afraid of Prahlad. Because Prahlad is, in this case, he was afraid of his enemies except for Prahlad, who's a devotee. Yeah, text 14. Pitari uparate putra
Pitari Uparade Putra
yachamana yana dadu
Rajamana
Trivistapam Mahendraya
Vitapam Mahmadaya
Yagna Bhagan Samadadu.
Yajnabhagan Samadadu
Upon Raji's death, Indra begged Raji's sons for the return of the heavenly planet. They did not return it, however, although they agreed to return Indra's shares in ritualistic ceremonies. So, although Raji is very powerful, extremely powerful, he could help Indra. And so Indra allowed him to take care of the kingdom, but now his sons don't want to give back. It happens, in this material world. Someone asks you to take care, it becomes your property, So they considered, according to Prabhupada, they considered it their paternal property. But they should understand, Indra told the father to take care of it. So anyway, it's interesting. Text 15. Guru na hu yamanigno
Guru Nahuya Manigno
Balabe tanayan raje
Balavi Tanaya Raje
Avadit brahm shitan margan
Avaditi Pramushitan Margam
Nakaschir avase sitaha.
Nakastir Avaseshita
Thereafter, Brihaspati, the spiritual master of the demigods, offered oblations in the fire so that the sons of Raji would fall from moral principles. When they fell, Lord Indra killed them easily because of their degradation. Not a single one of them remained alive. Although they were very powerful, simply by the Brahmana yagna, they lost all their prowess, intelligence, and everything. And then Indra could easily overcome them and take back the Swargaloka. Text 16. Kushar Prati Shatra Vriddha Sanjayas Tatsuto Jayaha Tatha Kritta Kritasyapi Yashne Harya Balo Nirpaha. From Kusha, the grandson of Shatra Vriddha, was born a son named Prati. The son of Prati was Sanjaya, and the son of Sanjaya was Jaya. From Jaya, Krita was born, and from Krita, King Harya Bala. Text 17. Sahadevas tato hino Jayasenastu tatsutaha Sankritistasya cha Jayaha Shatradharma Maharataha Shatraviddan Bhupa Ime Shrinvata Nakusam. From Haryabala came a son named Sahadeva, and from Sahadeva came Hina. The son of Hina was Jayasena, and the son of Jayasena was Sankriti. The son of Sankriti was a powerful and expert fighter named Jaya. These kings were the members of the Shatra Vriddha dynasty. Now let me describe to you the dynasty of Nahusha. Okay, so thus ends the Bhaktivedanta purport of the 9th Canto 17th chapter of the Srimad Bhagavatam dynasty of the sons of Puru Rava. You know, I'm going to take chapter 18. Chapter 18 is King Yayati regains his youth. Text 1. Sri Sukha Vacha Yate Yayati Samyati Ayate Viyati Kritihi Sat ime Nahu Sasyasan Indriyani Vadehinaha. Sukadeva Goswami said, O King Parikshit, as the embodied soul has 6 senses, King Nahusha had 6 sons, named Yati, Yayati, Samyati, Ayati, Viyati, and Kriti. Yeah, I guess they like the sound. Uh-huh. Yeah, maybe they drink tea. Text 2. Rajyam Naichadyati Pitra Dattam Tat Parinama Ved Yatra Pravishta Purusha Atmanam Nava Buddhyate. When one enters the post of king or head of the government, one cannot understand the meaning of self-realization. Knowing this, Yati, the eldest son of Nahusha, did not accept the power to rule, although it was offered by his father. I have met people where they give names, the same letter, you know. I've met people, they one in the family, right? They start with, let's say, ka sound. So everyone has a ka sound. Yeah, and Su sound, everyone has Su, and something. Yeah, so it's not uncommon. So maybe they like it like that. So here you can see Yati, the oldest son, he refused to rule because he wanted to practice devotional service. Generally, Kshatriyas, they like to enjoy things. Rajas guna is there. So they will go through that way, and then after some time they'll give up the enjoyment and take to vanaprastha and meditation. But here you can see, even though Yati is a Kshatriya, he has that nature that he wanted to focus on going back to Godhead. So he felt that was more important. This was taking away his real goal of life. Yeah. Yeah. Now, Srila Prabhupada says, and he quotes from the 10th canto, Sthani Sthita Shrutigatam Tanuvan Manobi Ye Prayasho Jita Jito Pi Asitais Trilokyam. This is the verse Chaitanya Mahaprabhu also quotes, to the Kurma Brahma. Yeah. Yeah. Regardless of whether one is in the mode of passion, ignorance, or goodness, if one regularly hears Srimad Bhagavatam from the self-realized soul, one is freed from the bondage of material involvement. So, which is another reason why we should hear Prabhupada's classes on a daily basis. Because there's so many nice devotees who can read, including myself. You may not be impelled to give up bad things. But when you hear from Prabhupada, immediately the vairagya can be established. Text 3. Pitari Brahmshite Sthana Indranya Darshanadvijai Prapite Jagaratvam Vai Yayatir Abhavan Nirpaha. Because Nahusha, the king of Yayati, molested Indra's wife, Sachi, who then complained to Agastya and other Brahmanas, these saintly Brahmanas cursed Nahusha to fall from the heavenly planets and be degraded to the status of a python. Consequently, Yayati became the king. Yeah, so you can see sometimes, although you may be trained also, and if you do not control your lusty desires, it can cause problems. Just like here, Nahusha, he just so powerful, right? He can go and molest Indra's wife. Very powerful personalities, but at the same time for the wrong reason. And so you can see the Brahmanas cursed him because that's not a quality that you want in a king, someone who must set good examples. But now in Kali Yuga, you see, it doesn't matter. If you do that, then they say you are a man, and they hire, put persons who are fallen as a leader. It's sad, but that's the reality in Kali Yuga. So when we read Bhagavatam, we see the best examples always. And sometimes we should be careful because you can't compare one-to-one with people in now age. We're very fallen nowadays, so therefore we have to be very careful. Although this is a standard that we want, but we should also be a bit more compassionate in this age when we deal with new people and so on. We should always reflect and see where we were before we became devotees, right? But we may have been also fallen, right? Or even worse. So therefore, we should always encourage people that they can also attain a level that is acceptable to Srila Prabhupada. And if it's acceptable to Prabhupada, they will be acceptable to Krishna. Text 4. Chatasrishvadi Shadikshu Bratrin Brataya Viyashaha Krittadaro Jugo Porvim Kavyasya Vrishaparvanaha. King Yayati had 4 younger brothers, whom he allowed to rule the 4 directions. Yayati himself married Devayani, the daughter of Sukracharya, and Sharmishti, the daughter of Vrishaparva, and ruled the entire earth. So he married 2 ladies. Text 5. Sri Rajo Vacha Brahma Rishir Bhagavan Kavyaha Shatra Bandhuscha Nahushaha Rajanya Viprayo Kashma Vivaha pratilomakaha. Maharaj Parikshit said, Sukracharya was a very powerful Brahmana and Maharaj Yayati was a Kshatriya. Therefore, I'm curious to know how there occurred this Pratiloma marriage between a Kshatriya and Brahmana. So Prabhupada explains what this is. According to the Vedic system, marriages between Kshatriyas and Kshatriyas or between Brahmanas and Brahmanas are the general custom. If marriages sometimes take place between different classes, these marriages are of two types, namely Anuloma and Pratiloma. Anuloma marriage between a Brahmana and the daughter of a Kshatriya is permissible. Pratiloma, marriage between a Kshatriya and a daughter of a Brahmana, is not generally allowed. Therefore, Maharaj Parikshit was curious about how Sukracharya, a powerful Brahmana, could accept the principle of Pratiloma. Maharaj Parikshit was eager to know the cause for this uncommon marriage. So it's not common in those days, so therefore he wants to know why this happened. Nowadays, it's always Pratiloma, right? Everyone is not qualified. So it doesn't even matter whether it's Pratiloma. Although we think we are Anuloma, but it's not true. Kalosudra Sambhava, so it doesn't matter. Text 6 and 7. Shri Shuka Vacha. Well, it does matter in this age. If you are devotee, it's better to marry someone who's devotee or practicing. Otherwise, you're going to have problems at home. They will not want to follow or they want to break principles, and it causes great distress for both parties. Okay, right? Text 6 and 7. Shri Shuka Vacha. Ekada Danavendrasya Sarmishta Nama Kanyaka Sakhi Sahasra Samyukta Guru Putriya Chabamini Devayanya Puro Dhyane Puspita Druma Shankule Yacharat Kala Gitali Nalini Puline Bala. Sukadev Goswami said one day Vrishaparva's daughter Sharmishta, who was innocent but angry by nature, was walking with Devayani, the daughter of Sukracharya, and with thousands of friends in the palace garden. The garden was full of lotuses and trees of flowers and fruits and was inhabited by sweetly singing birds and bumblebees. Text 8. Tajala Shayam Asadya Kanya Kamala Lochanaha Pirenyasya Dukulani Vijharu Sinchatir Mitaha. When the young lotus-eyed girls came to the bank of a reservoir of water, they wanted to enjoy by bathing. Thus they left their clothing on the bank and began spotting, throwing water on one another. Text 9. Vikshya Vrajantam Girisham Sahadevya Vrisha Stitam Saha Sotirya Vasamsi Paryadu Vridita Striyaha. While spotting in the water, the girl suddenly saw Lord Shiva passing by, seated on the back of his bull with his wife Parvati. Ashamed because they were naked, the girls quickly got out of the water and covered themselves with their garments. Text 10. Sharmista Janati Vaso Guru Putriya Samavyaya
Guruputriya Sanadhyaya
Swiyam Matva Prakupita
Priyamama Prabhupita
Devayanidam Abhavid.
Devayami Dhammapravi
Sharmista unknowingly put Devayani's dress on her own body, thus angering Devayani, who then spoke as follows. Next 11. It's common, among young girls, they get angry, or even with older girls. Next 11. Aho nirikshyata masya
Aho Virishtamasya
dasya karmahi asampratam
Yagyakami Sampratam
asmaddaryam drittavati
Asmadayam Trikavati
shuniva havira advare.
Univa
Oh, just see the activities of this servant maid Sharmishta. Disregarding all etiquette, she has put on my dress, just like a dog snatching clarified butter meant for use in a sacrifice. Very, very harsh, very cruel. Text 12 to 14. Yairidam tapasa srishtam
Yavam Tapasasrishtam
mukam pumsha parasya ye
Mukam Parasya
daryate yair iha jyotihi Shiva Panta Pradarshitaha
Panta Prakashita
Yanvandanti Upatistante
Swachitante
Lokanatha Sureshwaraha
Lokanatha Sureshwara
Bhagavan Api Vishwatma
Bhagavan Vishwama
Pavana Sri Niketanaha
Pavana Shri Ketan
Vayam Tatrapi Brigavaha
Vayantrapi Brahma
Shishyasya Pita Suraha
Jishosyanam Sarasura
Asmaddaryam Drittavati
Asmadayam Jatavati
Shudra Vedamivasati.
Rudro Vedamavasati
We are among the qualified Brahmanas who accept it as the face of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. The Brahmanas have created the entire universe by their austerity, and they always keep the absolute truth within the core of their hearts. They have directed the path of good fortune, the path of Vedic civilization, and because they are the only worshipable objects within this world, they are offered prayers and worshipped even by the great demigods, the directors of the various planets, and even by the Supreme Personality of Godhead, the Super Soul, the Supreme Purifier, the husband of the Goddess of Fortune. And we are even more respectable because we are in the dynasty of Brigu. Yet, although this woman's father, being among the demons, is our disciple, she has put on my dress exactly like a Shudra taking charge of Vedic knowledge. Text 15. Evam Shipantim Sharmishta
Evam Shikantim Sarvishta
Guru Putrim Abhashata
Guruputrim Vajata
Vrisha Swashanti Urangiva
Vajraspasati Yungiva
Darshita Dasta Dachada.
Darshita Dasha Dashara
Sukadeva Goswami said, when thus rebuked in cruel words, Sharmishta was very angry, breathing heavily like a serpent and biting her lower lip with her teeth. She spoke to the daughter of Sukracharya as follows. Atmavritam avinyaya
Atmanatam Vinyaya
kathase bahu bhikshuki
Atmase Bahu Bhikshuki
kimna pratikshase asmakam
Kimna Pratikshase Swam
grihan balibujo yata.
Eva Balipujo Yata
You beggar, since you don't understand your position, why should you unnecessarily talk so much? Don't all of you wait at our house, depending on us for your livelihood like crows? So it's very harsh, huh? They get so angry. My God. Now you know why you need to control the senses. You notice in this canto a lot of people getting angry and then they curse and do so many things. And it's so difficult to take back what you say. Among your own life, when you are dealing with one another, you should think twice, think 3 times, think 4 times, 5, 6, 7, before you say anything. So Prabhupada mentions how crows have no independent life. They fully depend on remnants of foodstuffs thrown by householders into the garbage tank. And then similarly, he says, because a Brahmana depends on his disciples, when Sharmista was heavily rebuked by Devayani, she charged Devayani with belonging to a family of crow-like beggars. And Prabhupada says, it is the nature of women to fight verbally at even a slight provocation. As we see from this incident, this has been their nature for a long, long time. Of course, they will argue otherwise. Text 17. Evam viddhaishu parushai
Evam viddhaishu parushai
Shittvacharya sutam satim
Shittvacharya sutam satim
Sharmishta prakshipat kupe
Sharmishta prakshipat kupe
Vasaschadaya manyuna.
Vasaschadaya manyuna.
Using such unkind words, Sharmishta rebuked Devayani, the daughter of Sukracharya. In anger, she took away Devayani's garments and threw Devayani into a well.
Next level.
So you can see what happens when you are very angry. So what to do? Text 18. Tasyam gatayam swagriham
Tasyam gatayam swagriham
yayate mirgayam charan
Yadayam mirgayam charan
prakto yadrichaya kupe
Prabhu yadrichaya kupe
yalarti tam dadarshaha.
Yalarti tam dadarshana.
Although it says by chance, nothing is by chance. After throwing Devayani into the well, Sharmista went home. Meanwhile, King Yayati, while engaged in a hunting excursion, went to the well to drink water and by chance saw Devayani. Right? It's not by chance. It's all the Lord's.
But she was accompanied by 1,000 other teenagers.
They all left, no? I just read. Sharmista went home with the rest.
She went, but why? I mean, that is so cruel, right? I
It's
just
her
understood why they were
maidservant. Sharmista's maidservants. It's from royalty, no? Text 19. Datva swam uttaram vasas
Datva sampudaram vasa
tasyai raja vivasase
Tasya raja vipasase
lihitva panina panim
Nirvitva panina panim
ujjahara dayaparaha.
Ujjahana dayaparaha.
Seeing Devayani naked in the well, King Yayati immediately gave her his upper cloth. Being very kind to her, he caught her hand with his own and lifted her out. Now, in the old system, if you touch a girl, means she cannot be married to another person. So, text 20:21. Tam viram ahausanasi
Tantinam avasanati
prema nirbharaya gira
Premanitva
rajam swaya grihito me
Rajam swaya grihito me
pani para puranjaya
Pani parajaya
hastagraho paro mabur
Hastagravo paramabu
grihitaya swaya hime
Grihitaya swayahini
esha isha krito vira
Isha isha krito vira
sambandho nauna porushaha.
Sambandho nam purusha.
With words saturated with love and affection, Devayani said to King Yayati, O great hero, O king, conqueror of the cities of your enemies, by accepting my hand, you've accepted me as your married wife. Let me not be touched by others, for our relationship as husband and wife has been made possible by providence, not by any human being. So Prabhupada says, while taking Devayani out of the well, King Yayati must certainly have appreciated her youthful beauty, and therefore he might have asked her which caste she belonged to, because, if she was ugly, would he have helped her?
That's a big question.
Yeah, we all have to think and decide. Thus, Devayani would have immediately replied, we are already married because you have accepted my hand. Uniting the hands of the bride and bridegroom is a system perpetually existing in all societies. Therefore, as soon as Yayati accepted Devayani's hand, they could be regarded as married. Because Devayani was enamored with the hero Yayati, she requested him not to change his mind and let another come to marry her. So that's another reason also. And it's in the verse also, it says that Devayani is attractive because when she spoke with love and affection. So she was struck with the probably Yayati's handsomeness. Text 22. Yad idam kupa magnaya
Yagitam Upamagnaya
bhavato darshanam mama
Bhavato Darshanam Mama
na brahmano me bhavita
Mano Me Bhavita
astagraho mahabhuja
Vastagramo Mahabhuja
vasaccha barhaspatyasya
Vasyasya
shapadyam asapam pura.
Shapadyam Sasampura
Because of falling in the well, I met you. Indeed, this has been arranged by Providence. After I cursed Kacha, the son of the learned scholar Brihaspati, he cursed me by saying that I would not have a Brahmana for a husband. Therefore, O mighty armed one, there is no possibility of my becoming the wife of a Brahmana. It seems that Kacha, Prabhupada says, the son of the learned celestial priest Brihaspati, had been a student of Sukracharya. It's in the Puranas, from whom he had learned the art of reviving a man who has died untimely. Right?
Yeah.
This art called Mrita Sanjeevani was especially used during wartime. When there was a war, soldiers would certainly die untimely. But if a soldier's body was intact, he could be brought to life again by this art of Mrita Sanjeevani. This art was known to Sukracharya and many others, and Kacha, the son of Brihaspati, became Sukracharya's student to learn it. Devayani desired to have Kacha as her husband, but Kacha, out of regard for Sukracharya, looked upon the Guru's daughter as a respectable superior and therefore refused to marry her. Yeah, this is common. You study under the Guru, then you don't see the Guru's mother separate, you see the Guru's daughter is also separate. You see as either your sister or someone superior. And therefore, he refused to marry her. And I think it is fine what he did, right? In fact, you can say that's noble of him. But Devayani angrily cursed Kacha by saying that although he had learned the art of Mrita Sanjeevani from her father, it would be useless. When cursed in this way, Kacha retaliated by cursing Devayani never to have a husband who was a Brahmana. Because Devayani liked Yayati, who was a Kshatriya, she requested him to accept her as his bona fide wife. Although this would be Pratiloma Vivaha, a marriage between the daughter of a high family and the son of a lower family. She explained that this arrangement was made by Providence. Her situation is unique. So she is, I guess she felt that she will never get married because of the curse to any Brahmanas. So she went on her own, reached out here. It may appear that Yayati reached out to carry her, but it would seem that Devayani actually reached out for a hope. No, don't blame her, right? Text 23. Yayati anabi pretam
Vayati Nanivedam
daivo paritam atmanaha
Daivo Padam Atmana
manastu tatkatam budvam
Manasutatam Bhutva
pratijagraha tatvachaha.
Pratijagara Tattvachaha
Sukadeva Goswami continued, because such a marriage is not sanctioned by regular scriptures, King Yayati did not like it. But because it was arranged by Providence and because he was attracted by Devayani's beauty, he accepted her request. So you can see, although you may know the scriptures well, you can still go against that scripture. So now you know why many times people do wrong, bad things, because they cannot either control their senses, as in the case of Yayati, he saw Devayani's beauty, and so he just wanted to enjoy with her. And then the other thing is, normally when something happens, people blame everything. So here they're blaming the providence, right? So sometimes people will say that, I don't know, I fall down, why I fall down, must be the Lord's design. Right? So Prabhupada explains how in general in the Vedic system, and now devotees do that also, they take horoscopes. And I don't think there are many qualified astrologers, very good astrologers. There may be some astrologers who are capable, definitely capable, but I don't know whether they are very qualified or not, because many times they do all this horoscope, and you can see it's not really working out. And many times I've met people who say both their horoscope is like tiger and lion, but it works out so nicely. So, what gives, right? Uh, so Prabhupada explains some interesting terms here. If according to astrological calculations, the boy and girl were compatible in every respect, the match was called Yotaka, and the marriage would be accepted. Even 50 years ago, this system was current in Hindu society. Now we should say 100 years ago. Right? Regardless of the affluence of the boy or the personal beauty of the girl, without this astrological compatibility, the marriage would not take place. A person is born in one of the three categories known as Deva Gana, Manushya Gana, and Rakshasa Gana. So you all are married, so you all know what your ganas are. In different parts of the universe, there are demigods.
They say and Rakshas
She's Devagana.
Yeah.
So Pratiloma. In different parts of the universe, there are demigods and demons, and in human society, also some people resemble demigods, whereas others resemble demons. And it's true, though. If according to astrological calculations, there was conflict between a godly and a demoniac nature, the marriage would not take place. Similarly, there were calculations of Pratiloma and Anuloma. The central idea is that if the boy and girl were on an equal level, the marriage would be happy, whereas inequality would lead to unhappiness. Because care is no longer taken in marriage, we now find many divorces. Astrologically you may be compatible, but if you grow up in a horrible situation, you can still lead to unhappiness, because of the way this world is nowadays. Indeed, divorce has now become a common affair. Although formerly one's marriage would continue lifelong and the affection between husband and wife was so great that the wife would voluntarily die when the husband died, or would remain a faithful widow throughout her entire life. Now, of course, this is no longer possible, for human society has fallen to the level of animal society. Marriage now takes place simply by agreement. Dampatye viruchi hetuhu. The word abhiruchi means agreement. If the boy and girl simply agree to marry, the marriage takes place, but when the Vedic system is not rigidly observed, marriage frequently ends in divorce. So you can see that. So therefore they have all prenup, we discussed that also. People have all kinds of contracts now. So basically they're not wanting to live a long life, they just want to have an agreement, and they also have all kinds of situation, right? They friends with benefit, things like that. They talk, nowadays I've heard terms like that, and I'm like, what benefit, but that's what it is in society nowadays. That means we can live and enjoy each other, but we don't have to be responsible, right? But that's what Prabhupada says. It is simply the life of an animal. Yeah.
But I don't know if it is an appropriate question here, but my question to you is, what is better? Going through emotional trauma and having a divorce at the end versus live in and understand each other and then more the compatibility factor and then go ahead with the marriage?
We follow the Vedic principle.
which is marriage then.
Yeah.
But then there is no compatibility, it may lead to.
Then you you become a sadhvi. Become sadhvi. Become a sadhu. Which is true. Many ladies nowadays don't get married at all because, as you mentioned, there's no compatibility. Yeah. Or they don't see a compatible person who can take care of them nicely, that they feel comfortable. Yeah. And this is what Kali Yuga is. We find that Prabhupada never wanted people to get married and then divorce. He was against it. So, and whenever they come to tell him they want to divorce, he would refuse to listen. He said, do whatever you like. Which means if he say no and they do it, then they are against the Guru's instruction. Yeah. They should go away, do whatever you like. But he was against it.
But if our girls were to ask, what is better proposition, right? Whether this way or that way, they want to make sure that they're making the right choice.
Yeah,
whatever they
Prabhupada
want.
said girls should be married. Yeah, all girls should be married. And then he also said all boys shouldn't get married, if possible. But that's not reality. Yeah. So if the girls find a compatible person, I mean, sometimes you may think it's compatible, right? And then what?
Right. I mean, unless you live under the same roof, you will not know ins and outs of the person.
Yeah. So therefore, you marry devotees, marry devotees. At least they have some training. That's the whole thing. Yeah. Many times devotees kids also don't want that restriction and so on. So you see that also. So then they should accept what they get, right? If you are not at the standard and you want someone better, high standard, then you will not follow when the person you're married with. And so similarly, you want a good husband, but the husband also want a good wife also. But if you are not of a good character, it will end up in marriage, divorce. Yeah.
Especially the problem comes when you have kids also, right? Then
Yes,
it's a
yes,
big
yes.
responsibility.
Yeah.
But then at the same time, you don't want the girl to be suffering emotional, girl or boy.
Most of the
or
problem
spouse.
comes because we don't train our children. From a young age, we send them to school, and the school is training them to be asuras, So you're not training anyone at home properly. The purpose of life, what is the goal of life, all this, no parents say that, to their children nowadays. But when it comes to, especially in ISKCON, when it comes to like marriage and all, then like your questions like yours come out very strongly. But at the same time, we should see, if I'm not qualified, how can I demand certain things, right? Like, when you are very good, then you find hundreds of employers will come and want to get your services, right? They'll offer you a job. Then you can say, what have you to offer me? But if you're not good, then they will say, what have you to offer me? So in the same way, we have to understand the principles. Yes, we see all these problems happening in society. Divorce rates are high. So what can we do, right? How much do devotees sit together and discuss how our future generation will make better choices? Do we think like that? No? Do parents think like that and exchange ideas and form a kind of a committee where they can address these issues? I don't think so, mostly everyone wants to do their own thing, and therefore these things repeat itself, the same problems. Better, you can write down what are the things, and I think in ISKCON they have some marriage stuff, and I think before a girl and boy marries, they should go to a marriage counselor, and then in ISKCON, and then talk about all the problems they will go through, and then they should look at each other and say, okay, I will go through with you. Right? And then after that, no more discussion, but you're not good or whatever, unless definitely if the person does something wrong. So I think these are important things to consider in our society. As Prabhupada said, it should be a lifelong commitment. If they break up and marry, then you can understand there's a lot of karma involved there, and so it will not benefit both parties. They will be, in the next life, they suffer other reactions. So something to think about. But if you say everyone go and choose your own husband, then it ends up just like the hippies and so on. Yeah. Problems will be coming up. Yeah. All right. So Divyansh, you're going now, right?
Almost.
Yeah. Is he here to pick you up?
Yeah, it's.
Oh, okay. All right. We wish you well.
Yeah.
We'll see
Oh,
you.
is it?
Yeah.
Oh.
Hare Krishna. All right. Take care.
Yeah.
We'll see you in Houston. Yeah.
Take a picture with you.
Yeah. You can.
Maybe you can give that 5 minutes break, maybe.
Okay, we'll take a 5 minute, 10 minute break. 5 minute break.
5 minutes.
Vivian's break. Yeah. We're just taking a break. Okay, you want to
Yeah, I will continue.
break? Stop it. Yeah. Otherwise, we'll. It's not anybody on the.
There are. Oh. Next session at 8 p.m.
11:05. 5 minute break now. So y'all want to go and say goodbye to him?
Yeah.
Yeah. You can say goodbye to him also. Yes.
Hare Krishna.